Hey guys, Josh here, and even though I love farming games and I've played a lot of different farming games over the years, I also find myself sometimes struggling to keep up with all the new releases, and there are a few games that I have not played yet that I really want to play, and I'd like to talk about those games today. I really hope I can manage to play these games in 2022, and hopefully you can also discover some new games throughout this video. Or if you've already played them, please let me know which one was your favorite, or maybe your least favorite. If there's any game I should avoid, or maybe that I should start with, please let me know in the comments, and let's start. So the first game I really want to play has been in early access for over a year now, and it's called No Place Like Home. I recently bought it on Steam, and the great thing about this game is that while it's in early access, it is 50% off. So now is a really good time to get this game. It was $11.49 in Canadian dollars, which seems like a pretty good price for a game like this. In this game, you're in a post-apocalyptic world, and you're one of the few people left on Earth, and the planet has been littered with trash. So your goal is to clean things up. You have a vacuum on your back, and this reminds me of Luigi's Mansion every time I see just pictures of this game. But yeah, so you have a vacuum on your back and you need to make things look pretty again. And of course, while doing so, you'll get to tame some animals, grow your garden, and all of that fun farming stuff. One thing I noticed about this game is that it seems like the farming itself is pretty quick and efficient. For example, you can use your vacuum to water the crops like you would with a hose, instead of watering every single crop one by one. And you can also suck up your crops with your vacuum to harvest them very quickly. And I think it's just a really good idea to combine different tools in one, as it can be a pain sometimes in farming games to alternate between all the different tools that you use. So of course I'm gonna have to play to see how it works exactly, but I think that using your vacuum to do multiple different tasks sounds very convenient. And this game also reminds me quite a bit of my time at Porsche. Maybe it's the graphics, but I think it's also the fact that it seems like you do quite a bit of exploration in this game, going to different places to gather different materials, and rather than always staying around your farm. So I think both games have similarities there. And while we're still waiting for my time at Sandrock's early access, I think this will be an amazing game to spend some time on. The second game I would like to talk about is Fantasy Farming Orange Season. I feel like not a lot of people talk about this game, but I've seen it mentioned in some comments on my videos, and apparently it is pretty fun, so I definitely would like to give it a try. The game has been in early access since 2017, so it's been quite a long time. However, a few weeks ago the devs posted an update explaining how the original lead developer left, and there's been a few changes within the team, but apparently now everything's back on track and they're actually working on porting the whole game from its current engine to the Unity engine, which should make future development a bit smoother once everything is done and ready. And this game looks like a pretty classic farming sim all around with all the basic mechanics you would expect. There's also some farm customization elements, and I think this is great as I love classic farming games. However, I do hope that it also does a few things to stand out from the other games. Otherwise, it might just feel like a subpar version of games we've all already played. So I really hope they don't try to play it safe too much and that we still have a little bit of novelty with this game. And actually one thing that's interesting is that the whole code is open to modders. So if you want to change anything in the game, you can relatively easily do so if you know a little bit about programming. However, as I said, they're currently changing the engine of the game, so I don't know if that's still gonna be possible once they go to the Unity engine. But I think that's a really good idea to open your game to modders. It opens a lot of possibilities. So we're gonna have to keep an eye on that to see if that's still gonna be a thing or not. And also this game is still in early access, and I feel like I've been a bit harsh maybe on this game, but I want to keep an eye on how the development goes, and I really want to play it in the future. There's also a free demo available on Steam, so I'm gonna give that a try, and I suggest you guys give it a try. It doesn't hurt, it's free to try, and hopefully we can all be pleasantly surprised. Speaking of pleasantly surprised, the next game on this list feels like I'm cheating a bit because I actually played it for about 2 hours at the time of recording this video. I started to write this script for this video first, and I really couldn't wait to play any longer, so I did play, but I still want to talk about it, and of course I want to play more of this game in 2022. So this game has been out of early access since February of 2021, so it's the full version of the game, and every so often I would get comments from people telling me how I really should play this game. It's so much fun, there's a ton of content, it's one of their favorite farming games of all time, and I would get really hyped up, really excited about it, and then I would take a look at some screenshots, I would feel a bit disappointed, and just forget about the game and go back to whatever I was playing. So I gotta say I'm not a fan of how this game looks. However, I decided to just push through and look beyond that for a little bit. And from the few hours I played, I have to admit that I am surprised and I am enjoying my time with this game so far. There's 3 towns to choose from, each with a different climate and crops, lots of different characters, tons of customization options. Of course, there's also crafting, cooking, fishing, mining, and all of that stuff you would expect. And also I took a look at the reviews on Steam before deciding to buy this game. And while some of the older reviews are not the best, the most recent ones are very positive for the most part. And seeing that people played this game for hundreds of hours, some have played 300, 400 hours, some people even played over 1,000 hours. So the hours speak for themselves, I think. Yeah, I really cannot wait to play more of this game and discover what makes it so special for all of these people. And also one thing to keep in mind is that Pumpkin Days was developed by a very small team, and you can tell it has some flaws, such as the graphics, but I think it's the kind of game that you really need to play in order to appreciate it. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do in 2022. Alright, so for the next game, as you guys probably know, the Harvest Moon / Story of Seasons series is my favorite game franchise of all time. However, I've never been much of a handheld person, so I missed out on most of the games that were on the DS and 3DS. I know it's such a shame because like half of the games in this series were on these consoles, and so I really want to fix that. That's one of my resolutions, maybe for 2022. And eventually, I want to play all of these games. But one that I really feel like I've been missing out on is Story of Seasons Trio of Towns. I can't make a single video or stream about a Story of Seasons game without having dozens of people talking about how Trio of Towns was the best, how it had such and such features, how you can play for hundreds and hundreds of hours and you still have so much stuff to do, and how they really want a remake on the Switch. In that game there are 3 towns, of course, each with different interesting characters, and apparently there's just so much content and things to do. And also, a little detail I hear a lot about this game is that the interactions with the villagers are really well done, and you can do things like go to a villager's place and have lunch with them, and little things like that that make the villagers and the whole game feel very alive. And that's one thing I'm really looking forward to checking out by myself. So yeah, I've been really wanting to play this game for a while, but my 3DS is stuck in my hometown. It's a bit far, so I'm waiting to go get my hands on it sometime later this year, and then I'll buy all the 3DS games that I've been missing out on. But I'm gonna start with Trio of Towns, and of course I'm gonna let you guys know as soon as I play this how much I liked it. The last game on my list is a bit different. I think it could still be classified as a farming game, but I've never played it, so correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's okay to put it on this list. And it has Rancher in the title. So yeah, I've always been intrigued by Slime Rancher. It came out on PC in 2017, and I'm pretty sure I bought it around that time, but somehow I never got around to playing it. I know it also came out on the Switch quite recently, and also Slime Rancher 2 is scheduled to come out in 2022. So the pressure to play the first one is just getting stronger and stronger, and I want to make sure I go through this experience before I play the sequel. And this is the kind of game that's kind of hard to understand just by looking at screenshots. I think you explore the world, capture some slimes, bring them back to your base, then you feed them and breed them, and then you get more money, and then you get some upgrades. And I know there's some farming as well, as you need to grow food for your slimes. And beyond that, I honestly don't know too much about this game, and sometimes it's better like this to just jump into a game not knowing too much about it, and everything feels like a surprise and it's a lot of fun. And apparently this game is very addictive, and I haven't heard of anyone disliking this game, so I'm sure I'm gonna have so much fun with it. I just need to make the time, and I think that's the issue as a whole. Too many games, not enough time. These are just 5 farming games that I'm trying to make the time to play next year. But if you add to that list all of the other genres of games that I need to play, this list suddenly gets so much longer. But my hope is to play at least these 5 games next year, along with, of course, all the amazing new releases that we'll get. And yeah, I'm curious to know if any of the games on my list are also on yours, or maybe if you're adding them to your list right now after watching this video. I'm sorry to just keep adding games to your list. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. And this is actually my last video of 2021. It's been an amazing year. So I just want to say thank you to everybody who watched one of my videos this year. And yeah, I'm looking forward to 2022. I want to wish you a happy new year. And I have lots of cool ideas and projects and things I want to do for this channel next year. So thank you so much for sticking around. It's gonna be a fun year, even better than 2021. And yeah, that's gonna be pretty much it. So please click like and subscribe if you'd like to see more content like this next year. And I'm gonna see y'all next year. Okay, thank you. Bye bye.